I had been having chronic congestion. I was also suffering from chronic sinus infections for probably a couple of years. I'd actually been having them every 2 to 3 weeks before I went in to see Dr. Ragsdale. I found myself seeing an urgent care physician on a regular basis, and I knew that it was time to see an ENT, and that's what led me to see Dr. Ragsdale. Dr. Ragsdale, we talked about the options when I went in to go see him. There were multiple options for what I had going on. One was to do nothing. The second was this balloon sinuplasty, and then the alternative would be a traditional sinuplasty, which I wasn't going to do. So I was interested in the balloon procedure as an alternative.
In the past, when someone needed sinus surgery, we needed to remove tissue in order to open up the sinuses. And sometimes this is still required if patients have polyps or a lot of diseased tissue, but for many patients, we can open up the sinuses without removing tissue, and this is done with a small catheter. It's advanced into the sinuses. There's a light which will actually glow within the sinus, and then we can expand that opening with a balloon. We irrigate the sinus, and then we remove the balloon.
Interestingly enough, my mom had a traditional sinuplasty just a few months ago, and my husband has actually had the procedure twice. And the recovery is pretty intense. From my understanding, it's also very painful, and it can potentially be a couple of weeks worth of healing.
With a more traditional sinus surgery, patients have more pain, more bleeding, sometimes required packs. Now that we can do this with a lesser invasive technique, they have a quicker recovery with less bleeding, less pain, and most of all, no packs are required.
So when I arrived at Forest Park, the staff was courteous and kind. The nurses were great. The facility was fantastic. I felt like I was at a hotel. I came out of the surgery and the first thing they asked me was, "How are you feeling?" And I was like, "I can breathe." And I felt air in my sinuses for the first time in probably years. I feel wonderful. It's nice to be able to breathe and not to expect another sinus infection within a month.